Okay, good morning, everybody. It is literally 4:30 in the morning. I've got a busy day ahead of me. Lots going on. There's lots of moving parts in my life. Hope there's lots of moving parts in yours to keep you anxious and engaged and into good causes. Let me plug this in. Um, so as we wrap up September, it's September 30th. Recap we've had 4 guests in here. I think they went really well. Shout out to Travis and Stray Dog. We had Abe with the mulleted plumber, and Shelby uh, Joneses. I think it's Joneses. Um, I really do appreciate it. I think it went really well. Uh, you guys are absolutely my guinea pigs. Got lots of things planned to make it a little bit better and more succinct and all the rest of that stuff. So we are not done. It's a ever moving, ever growing target to do this bigger and better. I did have it is I don't know where to start today. I had a bunch of DMs about these boiler builds and going from big to small. I don't think I'm going to talk about that today. I think we're going to talk about here in Canada. It's called Truth and Reconciliation Day, which is specifically centered on First Nations. I'm not sure what the term is in the States um, for our Native brothers and sisters. Can I say that? But up here it is First Nations. Um, that it's become, as with everything, it's a very political topic. The reason that this Truth and Reconciliation thing came out was because of the supposed um, graves found at various schools and Catholic churches. As most of you know, many of those have turned out to be it has turned out to be debunked. Those weren't actually graves, but there is no doubt that we all need to do better. We need to learn from the past, but we don't like. I don't know why everybody dwells in it so much, and it's a very complicated and prickly issue for sure. And I don't want to go too far on this unless there's somebody on here that wants to. I have several First Nation plumbers that message me on the regular. If they want to come on here and talk about some of that stuff, I would be delighted to sort of get a uh, perspective on that sort of thing. Um, what I do want to say is it's in I'm going to spin it a little bit because I don't want to delve into that without knowing fully what I'm talking about. But it's important that we are truthful in everything that we do and say. I think what we say and how we say it matters. Certainly, many of the contentions that I have here with people are based on the fact that I don't think that they're speaking the truth, and there is a massive difference between the truth and their truth. And you need to listen to how people word things and whether they are being deliberately deceitful or they're being deliberately honest. Um, and the world is just a crazy, mixed up, and I am going to use the word evil place. And it is your job, my job, to try and make sure um, that we're not part of that problem, that we're trying to solve that problem. Now, that does, in my estimation, that does not mean that we become contrite and, uh, you know, just let people walk all over us just because that makes them feel good. I think that we need to stand up for truth. And and I think most of us know what the truth is. And in my mind, the truth is uh, faith, family, uh, and building your foundation on those two things. And whatever your faith is, I think as part of the Christian community, we need to do a better job at embracing each other. We absolutely have our differences in practices and in our beliefs and in doctrine, but until a couple of weeks ago, no one knew what my specific affiliations were, and that was brought out in the public because some dumbass is trying to use it as a wedge, and I won't let that happen. It is not. It. I've had lots of discussions since that time with people about what my faith means and where it goes, and in its simplest form, my faith is nothing more than road markers to keep me on the path of faith and family, looking after my family, understanding my responsibilities to that family, to the people that I love and I'm concerned about. It has galvanized my resolve to be better and to do better. And I think that's what faith is for, is to make those things real in your life and not just vocal devotions, but actually walking the path of trying to be a better person, trying to fulfill the responsibilities that you have. And we saw this week how some people are using that as to be divisive, which I just don't understand it. As we dig deeper and deeper into our who we are and who we represent, we have so many similarities. There's very little that separates us. And I do think that the powers that be, whatever you want to call it, I do think this world is a fallen world in a religious sense, and that we're here to prove ourselves in these circumstances. It's apparent to me that there is good and there is evil, and the powers that be want to divide us and show us how different we are instead of how similar we are. Anyway, it's a whole different trajectory. I could talk about that for days and days and days and days. I do love digging into that stuff. I've had 4 or 5 discussions here in the last couple of days about um, um, religion and sort of the meat of that, what that means, where that goes, how we implement that in our lives. And I hope my freaking screen is freaking out. When you try and do something here, there we go. Anyway, I'm not going to go on for too long. I'm happy to discuss it with anybody. We should come on here. I may reach out to a couple of people who I know aren't afraid to talk about what their religious beliefs are, and we might have a discussion about that. That's what this forum is for. I think, is to talk about things that concern us, that affect us, and how we best navigate those. I mean, there's some landmines out there that we need to be aware of. Anyway, I hope everybody has a fabulous day. I got about 20 emails to get out and a bunch of work to get done. So I wish you luck out there. As usual, these are my thoughts and not yours. All the best. Have a fabulous Tuesday.